Hola, yo soy Vendetta. Welcome from our show. It's been welcome. Having a wonderful day on this 6th October 2025. One of the first video of the day. And my friend, we are starting up with a mustache hair in my nose. Great. Compared to what's going on in Berserk, this is nothing. And yes, it is a review of Berserk. So we are going to be reviewing, I believe we are reviewing episode 13, 14, 15, and 16, if I'm not wrong. So now I have to admit something, okay? So I read it up today. I was very busy. And because today we were very busy, I didn't have to take notes. So what I'm going to do is you're going to see me looking at the computer. And what I'm going to do is going to do like pages per pages. And if I like something, I like something. If I don't, I don't. So but I'm going to tell you right now, it was a great morning. Fuck, that air is buttering me. We're feeling much better. If you guys saw it yesterday, we went to the hospital 2 days ago. And today we're feeling much better. To keep using word activated before 5 October. Yes, okay. Yes. So, blah blah blah. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try to save it. Saved. Because we're using Microsoft Word and they're telling me that there is another one. HU, which is other one and dead. Make unwanted change to the original file. You can restore the file. Good. Okay. So now what you do is we're gonna go load, because this I have to check it out, because otherwise we have to stop this video, and I have to restart. And I have to make sure that we keep this one. So this is the good one. Yes, it's good. Perfect. Okay. Cool. Now we're using a website to read Berserk, and that website is not good. It keeps on sending us to ads and shit like that. So yeah, we're gonna be trying to avoid this. So right now I'm gonna be able to tell you, see, an ad right away. Uno ad right away. Right now I can tell you where we are. We are at the end of. We are at 122 pages of the volume. Berserk is so good. Berserk is so good. If I had more money, I would absolutely buy the compendium. And this would be a good idea too. Like to come back to this on Halloween with my kids and listen to Berserk, read Berserk. So we are at chapter 16. So we started at 13. So what I'm going to do is Berserk chapter. The problem is, before this they write it as POLO. So 12 is what? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. E is 5, G is 7, H, I, 10, H, I, G, K. Okay. Okay, so readberserk.com is going to be we're human. The read something is really good because you got a lot of things. You got Tokyo Revenger with one read. I got a bunch of things that are super good. Now, sadly, we are one away. So I made a mistake in my calculation. Okay, good. That is. So yesterday, I remember we finished. Yes. Yesterday we finished out. Griffith was fighting. So this is super good. Because this is exactly where we were. Yeah. So the small recap. Griffith and Guts are fighting, and Griffith totally annihilate him. But Griffith saved him, and this is super important. I didn't mention it yesterday. But this is really worth it because Griffith saved, spare, didn't save, he spared Griffith. Griffith spared Guts, and Guts just killed one of his men and cut the arm of another guy. And this is super cool because some of his Ben of Hawk member are gonna be like, yo, what is he doing with us? Is bad. But the fortune that we're gonna be reading, guys, are possibly, I'm gonna be honest, The 4 chapters that we're reading right now are much better than what we were reading before. So Griffith takes it is right here, and he stabs Guts in the left shoulder. Like every single day, like yesterday, but than before. The beginning of so technically speaking, the Black Swordman, I don't really like the arc. The Golden Age in itself, and the Black Swordman is leading to the Golden Age. It's like okay, so I'm gonna go with another manga, right? It's like what should we call it? I would say Skypiea. Not the best thing to watch, but you need to watch it. You need to read it. Yeah, Berserk. So we got the Golden Age Chapter 3. And this is super cool. Berserk. So I will have to complain a little bit, right, about something right away. I don't like what the writer of Berserk did for yeah, I have to do ads because this is a mission. By the way, tomorrow we're starting a new playthrough of. Tomorrow we're starting a new playthrough. Let's go. 5. Good. And we get 1 card which will give me a mission. It's another extra defense which give us level 3. Good. Yeah, we're starting another playthrough. This one's gonna be no commentary, so I'm excited for that. Which means that tomorrow tomorrow we're doing a marathon of Tim Burton movies. So Coraline, Beetlejuice, Corpse's Bride, and Jack Skellington. That's super cool. So Griffith, Guts is, I keep on mixing the 2 names because they're both starting with G's. Okay, you're recording. I have to make sure because we're doing 4 playthroughs. Okay, so you're recording. You're good. You're good. You're always good, my friend. So yeah. So with Guts and Griffith, it's so crazy because with Guts and Griffith, the reason why I keep mixing them is they're so similar. And it's so similar, but in the complete opposite. Griffith is white hair, white long hair, very childlike, very feminine looking, right? And he's supposed to be this good guy, and Guts is the opposite. Guts is rough around the edge. He's not the greatest looking, super manly. There's so much of a brute, and there's so much. But if you look at Griffith, you see a good guy. When you look at Guts, you see a bad guy, and it's the opposite. Also, if you guys notice, in the manga and the anime, Guts will have pointy hair. So nobody else has that. So I look like a devil. Guts is still having nightmare about the raping incident. Now, what I was talking about, my complaint about that is we never know how much time has passed. For example, but the at the same time, it is so freaking good because not the rape, of course, but it's so freaking good because the fact that we show how Guts is still affected by that, and in this episode you're gonna see that it's so important. You're gonna see later on. So in his dream, you see Gambino, and he screams, "Gambino, save me! Please save me!" And this is so fucking funny because Gambino is dead, and this for some reason really reminded me of what is it? It's I know the name too, with Thorfinn. It's Thorfinn, Askeladd, Vinland. Remind me of Vinland, which is possibly where. So in his dream, you see that Gambino has a throat. He has his throat open, which is the way Guts killed him. He's about to get raped. He has a weapon to defend himself, but it's the leg of Gambino. Now, if you look at the dream, there's possibly like a psychologist or a shrink that would be able to say, this is feeling of guilt. This is how he feels guilty. How his only hope in the world was Gambino. See, Gambino in itself was kind of nuts because Gambino in itself was an asshole, but Gambino in itself was able to survive, which not a lot of people do. You know, when Guts become really strong, it's not because of Griffith. It's not because of anybody else than Gambino. He thinks about this asshole, right? Ultimately speaking, you can even say that the Black Swordman Guts is extremely similar to how Gambino was. Of course, you have to read between the lines, but it's similar. Now, it's super funny because the puppy that Gambino had was Shizu, right? and it's kind of insane. It's kind of insane. So he he's getting. So this is complex. This is very complex at the scene. So you see, fucking ads. You see the scene, right? I have to make sure before I show you that there's no tits, because I think there's tits. Okay, it's hidden. So you see here, the scene is with Casca warming him up. Okay, so this is a super important scene. So the Guts is saying his ad, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. So Casca, what she's doing right now is because Guts lost a lot of blood. Because he lost a lot of blood, his corpse is cold, right? So Casca, she's warming him up with her body. Now, why is that important? Is because you see Casca and you see her hugging Guts, and you ask yourself if the dream of himself getting raped was because if Casca was around him, or is it a recurring dream? If it's a recurring dream, this is a trauma. If it's because of Casca hugging him, then the dream itself is a traumatic response, a traumatic psychological response to the touching, which is kind of important. And this is kind of cool because Casca, she will hate him for that. A woman, so he wakes up, a woman, dark eyes. This is insane because this really shows how Guts is as a character and his perception of relationship and sexuality. Casca is basically naked next to him, right? And Guts, I think at that time, this is what I'm complaining about. We don't know how old he is. There's small amount of time that tells you how much time has passed. But right here, he's possibly 12. No, he's possibly a bit older than that. But let's say he's a teenager. So the idea of sex is to him. And you see a beautiful woman, Casca, which by the way, you'll fall in love with, naked next to him, and he doesn't have idea of her body. He doesn't care about her body. He thinks about her eyes. So he wakes up, right? And right away, this is super cool. He wakes up. Now, why this scene is so cool? And because this might be the next day of the accident. We don't know how much time has passed. So you wake up, you have pain. You remember Griffith and the way he hurt him. Goes out. And this is insane. Because basically, what he's doing is Griffith is next to the camp. He's in the camp of the Band of Hawk. Now, he doesn't have a sword, but he could go crazy and could run away, right? So, but what I'm trying to say here is he's left unattended. He has some sort of freedom. And it's kind of funny because Griffith... Okay, so... It's kind of funny because... Okay, so... It's so complex. It's so complex. So Griffith wants Guts because Guts is a great soldier. And it's so complex. So, ultimately speaking, the reason why Griffith... And this is going to come up later, so we'll say it right now. Griffith really wants Guts. The reason as to why... Because Griffith wants to become as strong as possible. He wants to become one of the strongest person in the world, right? Most influential. So, for example, like a king or like a lord, right? And he knows that he needs to have good soldier. So the need for a good soldier is the need to win battle that he couldn't have won without a good soldier. Winning the battle without good soldier, winning the battle thanks to the good soldier will make him seem like a great hero or a great fighter or a great general, which will give them a status, which is a military status, but translate into a lordship or yeah, that's pretty much it, right? So with Guts, he says, okay, well, this guy is a really strong fighter, and if I can get him, I can get him. Now, ultimately speaking, this is the truth, but it's not true. Ultimately speaking, this is the perceived notion of the first. This is why Berserk is so good. But this, when I'm speaking, I've watched the Golden Age 4 or 5 times. So this is not my first time. I know exactly what's going to happen, and I know analyzing. So the reality also is Griffith doesn't realize it right away. But he'll see Gus as a guy who is supposed to... So one of the flashbacks that we had already is Griffith telling Gus, hey, we're special. We're supposed to be there. We're supposed to be like, not invincible, but we belong here. And because we belong here, we're able to do whatever the heck we want, right? And this is what he's saying. But at this time, and this is super cool because this is not exploring the manga and the anime either in the 1987 or in the present anime. It is also presumed that Griffith is homosexual, and because Griffith is homosexual. He wants a husband or a partner that is as strong as him, and Gus possibly is the same as him. In every single adaptation of the anime, one thing is certain. Griffith is a very he cares for the bands of Hawk. He cares about them a lot, but he doesn't mind if somebody dies. For example, Guts just killed one of his guy. He's like, okay, well, I want him. I don't care if you kill one of my guys. Griffith will see himself as a king amongst pawn, right? So he sees multiple people, and this is kind of crazy because we got Casca, and what I truly believe is Casca has feelings for Griffith. She has love feelings for Griffith. Again, the fucking mustache airs my nose. Sometimes I want to shave it. I swear to God, but I like the way I look with it. So with Casca, what happened is Casca, she comes in, and she's in love with Griffith, and I believe what happened is that Griffith was like, hey, without saying I love you too, there has been like talk of relationship, because Griffith wants to have a relationship because every single good lord has a relationship, and Casca, although isn't the strongest, she is second one. Again, we remember that Griffith is very military oriented, so becoming his second strongest, like, okay, well, you can be a good partner because you wouldn't make me look weak, which is what we're saying, right? So then this is super cool. Guts wake up, and the first thing he does is he look around him, right, and he sees it's a mercenary band. Now this is cool because when you look at Guts, the way he was raised, he was raised in a mercenary camp. He was raised as a mercenary, so this is kind of familiar to him, right? And he looks at them and see that they're all really young. So in this sense, he would say like, okay, well, guess what? They're possibly weaker, right? And at the same time, it's kind of weird because mercenary band, later on, it's revealed that Guts, you look at them like in poor fashion, like, okay, well, they're most likely criminal. They're not good people, right? And that's possibly helping why Gambino to him was such a good person. Okay, so this is quite complex. Guts possibly has a adoration for, that's a good person, and adoration for strength because Guts really believe in the strength. So he possibly saw Gambino as an asshole. He also saw possibly everybody in the camp as asshole. However, Gambino was an asshole, but he was also somewhat noble. That's pretty much it. You realize that Vinland Saga, and again, I don't know why today I'm talking about Vinland Saga, but they're really similar. Gambino would have been like Asgard, an asshole, but at the end, it's a good guy. Was Gambino a good guy? Before it's too hot. Okay, 140.
right, let's do this. Don't be afraid. And don't run away, okay? There you go. Mommy's right here. Mommy's right here. It's okay. Don't be afraid. It's okay. Go walk around. Not too far, though. Mommy will be upset. Go walk around. Go have fun. I know. You're okay. Do you want to just walk around? You want Mommy to carry you and we'll walk around and look at everything? Yeah? All right. Let's go. Mommy will carry you. Do not run away, okay?
16 people form a circle. Each person holds a gun to the head of the person in front of them. Each gun is loaded with only one bullet, and each person is allowed to shoot only once. As for whether they can survive after the gunshots, that depends on each person's own luck. Now the game begins. The referee has everyone stare at the light bulb in the center. The moment the light bulb turns on is when everyone shoots. As a round of gunshots rings out, 4 contestants are unfortunately eliminated in this round. But contestant number 13, Jimmy, is so frightened that he hesitates and doesn't dare to shoot. A guard walks over to him with a gun. If he doesn't shoot soon, he'll be the next to die. Finally, under their pressure, Jimmy fires a blank round. The contestant in front of him also finally ends this 1 minute of torment. But the game is far from over. There will be a second round, or a third round, or even more, until only one contestant remains on the field. The final survivor will also receive $10 million in prize money. Besides the contestants on the field,
Look, this ain't a race, but I still...
Est-ce que les motos, vous pouvez bloquer l'expose Pinès? Ça fait encore la même affaire que tantôt, genre? Je t'enlève, je te remets, genre? Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un qui peut bloquer l'expose Pinès, s'il vous plaît? J'ai pas envie de me faire exploser, moi, si je sais que je me fais déjà exploser. Sûrement.
Mais André, ça c'était écœurant.
Ouais, je le montre à Elsa. C'est trop drôle. En plus, c'est mon ancien client, Justin.
Ouais, c'est ça, je comprends pas. Mais ça se dit, c'est ton année client. T'as-tu vu sa femme elle était dans le calice en plus?
Mais tu savais pas que Vince j'ai été en truc avec, puis il payait par TikTok, justement. C'est moi qui l'ai fait embarquer sur TikTok.
Ah ouais, regarde, t'as fait quoi?
C'était des lions, tout contre Voyardi.
And we're back with part 2. Sorry, it's a really warm day outside, so of course the phone is gonna overheat, which is completely normal. And then I realized that I fucked up. Shit. Okay. And we're back, of course. It's a really warm day, so it's normal that the phone's gonna overheat. Sorry about that. Overeat, not overeat, which is or even Uber Eat, which is the services. So, we were talking about Gambino. Don't worry, we've got it. And I thought that is super cool. It's putting down the phone. Do I think that Gambino was a good guy? I feel like if Guts would have been older and Shisui didn't die, Guts would have been good. Because Guts, Gambino thought that Guts was the reason why she killed him, like, because of the bad luck. So he took it out on him, and he started drinking when Shisui is done. Ultimately, the event raping Guts was because Gambino was so drunk that he didn't care. That's not true, because Gambino was like, yeah, I sold you for 3 silver, which is kind of bullshit, right? So was Gambino a good guy? I think after a while, Guts would have been like, yo,